Why, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. This is Valentine. I am played by Samuel L. Jackson in the new Matthew Vaughn film, Kingsman: The Secret Service. Valentine views mankind as a virus, and he's the cure. But you don't want to know more about that. You want to see Tom Richardson in that chair, reviewing Kingsman: The Secret Service instead. You don't care about Valentine, but you should. So hey guys, that was my attempt at Samuel L. Jackson's Valentine character. So yeah, he was the villain of the movie in Kingsman: The Secret Service, and Samuel L. Jackson did talk with a lisp in this movie. Kingsman: The Secret Service is actually based off of a graphic novel. Believe it or not, Matthew Vaughn, who directed Kingsman: The Secret Service, also directed the first Kick-Ass film, which, believe it or not, had the same graphic novel author and illustrator that the Secret Service graphic novel did, which is what the film is based off of here as an adaptation. So it's kind of all worked out that Matthew Vaughn just so happened to direct both adaptations of both Kick-Ass and the Secret Service as films. But in Kingsman: The Secret Service, it is about a young boy named Eggsy, and he is recruited into a secret agent organization called the Kingsman. And his father was in this organization back when Eggsy was a young boy. He didn't really get to know his real father too well. He grows up in kind of a gang-like environment. You know, he grows up with some people who he shouldn't be hanging out with. Gets in trouble with the law a lot. But he gets an opportunity from a character played by Colin Firth, who works for this Kingsman organization, and he worked with Eggsy's father back when Eggsy was a little boy, and his father once was a Kingsman secret agent for this organization as well. Um, Eggsy gets an opportunity to work for the Kingsman as well. He gets recruited as a student, and if he makes it through the program, he'll become the new Kingsman agent for the organization. But he has to surpass everybody else in all these tasks in order to become a Kingsman agent. While this is going on, and before it's later decided in the movie who becomes the new Kingsman agent, there is a big tech problem going on with a new kind of device that gives you both cell phone service and internet service, and it's by a character called Valentine, played by Samuel L. Jackson, who does the lisp thing that I was doing earlier. He has this tech thing that I think it's called. Um, SIM cards, I think is what they call it in the movie. It's like the Valentine SIM card. Like I said, it basically is a device that gives you both cell phone service and internet service. But how it becomes a problem later on is Valentine has a way of using some form of radiation or something of that nature from science. And he's able to make people very aggressive when they're around this device. And so everybody gets it. It's a free service. They don't have to worry about internet bills or cell phone bills. So everybody wants this device. And so basically, when it comes to him trying to take over the world with this plan that he has that's explored in the movie, basically he has almost everybody at his control because he knows how to control this really harmful radiation that comes from his own tech device that he's giving out to free for everybody. So it's up to the Kingsman secret agents to stop this man from taking over the world with these tech devices that he's giving out for free to everybody. So I really enjoyed Kingsman: The Secret Service, you guys. I'm a huge Matthew Vaughn fan. I love the first Kick-Ass film. I love X-Men First Class. Matthew Vaughn also co-wrote X-Men Days of Future Past. So this guy's done a ton of stuff that I've loved. Definitely an action summer blockbuster-ish kind of director. Definitely my kind of film director, very much so. And then Kingsman: The Secret Service really didn't disappoint at all because Matthew Vaughn is just so good at making action films that have good effective comedy in it, good effective drama in it, and he's somehow able to blend it all together to make a really well-crafted movie, and Kingsman: The Secret Service is that movie. For my positives of this movie, I thought that Kingsman: The Secret Service had a very good James Bond vibe to it. If you like those old espionage films, if you like, classic Sean Connery 1960s James Bond films, you're going to love the vibe of this film. It's just a ton of fun. The film definitely maintains that vibe throughout the movie for me. There's tons of great action scenes here. If you're looking for a great, getaway action film with a lot of secret agent action in it, Kingsman: The Secret Service very much is that movie. Samuel L. Jackson's character of Valentine, I felt was the most original, most unique villain I've seen in a film in a really long time. Um, Just loved his performance here. I loved how he it was the very thing that he despises. I like how he freaks out around violence and how he can't watch it. He makes his assistants do the work for him at times, and just a very unique villain. I haven't seen a villain done in a film this uniquely in a while. It's a very original, unique villain. And a huge thumbs up to Samuel L. Jackson and to the writers and Matthew Vaughn for coming up with a really unique villain here for him to work with, and for all these characters to love to hate in this movie. Just a really well done performance from Samuel L. Jackson. Huge thumbs up. I like that the film was very self-aware. I like that it was self-aware that it was a secret agent film, and that there's all these secret agent films we have now, and there's always these rules that the 1960s one follows, like the villain says the cheesy pun here, or they know that they have to come up with this really weird plot and things like that. They're very self-aware that this is a movie at times, and I like how they're doing that. I just love the self-awareness in this film. It's done so accurately. Huge thumbs up to Matthew Vaughn for really directing his cast to really making this really unique, self-aware movie. Colin Firth's character in the film, I think his name is Harry Hart. He's the kind of like the lead Kingsman of this organization. Michael Caine is the guy that is the overall leader of the organization, but Colin Firth is kind of the second most important one of the Kingsmen. I just loved his character in this. I love how Colin Firth actually did his own most of his stunts in this movie. It is written somewhere on IMDb.com, I guess, that I think he did 80% of his own stunt work in this. So huge thumbs up. He did a great job with all his stunts. Really believable character. I like how he's very three-dimensional and has a lot of backstory to him and has a lot of history behind him. Very fun character once again. Probably not quite as fun as Samuel L. Jackson's character. We've definitely seen characters like this in the past in other secret agent films, but I really liked what Colin Firth did with the character. I loved his performance, and once again, his stunt work was very well done, and very believable when it came to his stunts. I like how this film is very much a kick-ass for secret agents kind of a story. I like how Kick-Ass was about everyday people becoming a superhero with no superpowers. Kingsman is also about everyday people, more so smarter people, I guess in this case. Like Harvard level students when they get to college level. But I like how it's the idea of what if an everyday person wanted to become a secret agent? What would they have to do? What would be the training? How would they pick the person to replace that former agent? And they really do play it out in a really unique way. So I like how it is kick-ass for secret agents in a sense. So if you like kick-ass and if you want to see that idea applied to a secret agent story, Kingsman: The Secret Service is very much for you. Matthew Vaughn's special touch is very present here. Matthew Vaughn, once again, is very good with directing action sequences, very good with drama, very good with character development. Everything I can almost ask for from a big action film like this, Matthew Vaughn knows how to do. And this is kind of why I keep returning to his films. The man knows what he's doing with this stuff. So definitely the special Matthew Vaughn touch is used here. I could definitely tell certain scenes that kind of felt like X-Men First Class a little bit, just like how certain scenes very much feel like Kick-Ass, but in a very good way. So huge thumbs up to Matthew Vaughn for continuing that special touch with filmmaking. It really looks great here. And then that goes to my next point. Very good character development here. Colin Firth's character had a lot of depth. So did the Samuel L. Jackson character. So did the character of Eggy, played by Taron Egerton, I think his name is. There's my light. I wonder why that happened there. Um, I think Taron Egerton is this new guy that plays the character of Eggy. Very good performance from him. Huge thumbs up. Tons of great character development in this movie. For my negatives of Kingsman: The Secret Services, there are some plot conveniences that are very present, just things that just are strictly there to continue the plot and for allowing the plot to happen in a good way. I won't get into spoiler details, obviously, but there's a final fight near the end of the film with one of Valentine's assistants and Eggy that really does feel cheesy. And I feel like the only reason why it played out the way it did is because, well, we kind of need that happy ending to happen once again. Another negative I have is some of the subplots that do have some loose ends here. They don't quite get tied up. Won't go into spoiler detail again, but one of them does involve a dog that Iggy has to watch throughout the movie with one of the tasks that he had to learn when he became a Kingsman agent. It doesn't quite get tied up. There's a lot of things that get brought up later on. It's like, well, okay, well, if that happened, what happened to this? What happened to this person? What happened to this? Just a lot of loose ends that don't get tied up. There's also some aspects of Iggy's home life before he became a Kingsman agent that really aren't explained too much, and I really wish they went into more detail on, just so I know more about what Iggy's life was like before becoming a Kingsman. They is explored a little bit, but I think they could have explored it a little bit more. There is a lot of really heavy and actually some really bad British accents in this film, I thought. Some characters, like the Taron Egerton character, most of the leads were fine. Colin Firth and Mark Strong and Samuel L. Jackson and all of them, all did fine when they were required to do a really heavy British accent. But on some of the minor characters, strictly the characters that either get beaten up in a fight or characters we see in one scene and they never show up again. Some of them do have some pretty annoying British accents that are kind of um, hard to follow, and sometimes like, well, wait, what did they say? Like, oh, governor, we got to go to this, we got to go to this, we got to go to this, and it's just like, oh, okay, slow down. I want to understand what you're saying. Another negative I had about the movie is the character of Gazelle. She has these knives for feet. It's one of her abilities. But as a result, some of her action scenes where things get cut off or people get a good slice on the stomach and things like that. Some of it is pretty weak CGI. I thought it looks like something out of the mid '90s, to be honest. So all the other CGI elements were fine, but some of the stuff like Gazelle's cuts and things, there is just a lot of things I can't really go into because that'd be spoilers. But there is some occasional weak CGI elements throughout the film. So just be forewarned about that. When it comes to really really good CGI, Kingsman: The Secret Service probably doesn't have the best CGI we've ever seen when it comes to that. And there are some very cheesy moments here, like characters being able to bounce up on walls just fine and being given like supernatural abilities at the last minute just to make the plot work. Once again, a lot of plot conveniences. Just, moments that we really didn't need it or moments that got pushed too far. Um, I thought the film could have been maybe grounded in reality just a little bit more than it was. Some scenes were fine with this, but there was some scenes that just got really over the top as far as being grounded in reality went. But overall, guys, if you go into Kingsman: The Secret Service knowing that it's this big blockbuster-like film that doesn't quite ground itself in reality the way it should, obviously the way they did it was fine, but I wanted a little bit more grounded in reality kind of a feeling to it. But overall, I'm going to give Kingsman: The Secret Service an 8.5 out of 10. It's a very fun blockbuster film. If you like secret agent stories, I think you're going to have a lot of fun with this. If you like Kick-Ass or X-Men First Class or Matthew Vaughn as a director, once again, I think you're going to have a lot of fun with this. Definitely check this out. I would go so far as to say is go see this one in the theater. I think it is pretty good. Like I said, 8.5 out of 10. Very well done movie. This film and Paddington are probably my two favorite films of 2015 so far as really good films go. But I'm hoping we'll get really good ones more so later on. But 8.5 out of 10 for me. Kingsman: The Secret Service is a very good film. Make sure you check it out.